Supergirl is projected to lose over $100 million. We're going to talk about what went right, what went wrong for this movie, and what's up next for the DCU, even a rumored casting of the new Batman. All that and more in an all-new episode of Unbinged starting now. Welcome into Unbinged, podcast for the shows, movies, and news you love to binge. I'm Alfredo Brown. I got a full cast with me today. Jagger, Matt Kopfhamer, Sam Holt. We're going to talk everything from Supergirl and the DCU, but first, let's get a spoiler warning.
This is your one and only spoiler warning for everything Supergirl and the DC Universe. Spoils!
We got the reports. Listen, no matter how you want to slice it, whether you like the movie, didn't like the movie, let's try just not to be hyperbolic here. The internet right now is just full of nonsense. The movie has failed financially. It is projected to lose $100 million. Peter Safran, head of the studio, has come out and made a statement about Supergirl underperforming at the box office and said, while Supergirl didn't meet our box office expectations, it is just one component of a broader long-term strategy at DC Studios that we remain confident in. So we know that Millie Alcock as Supergirl is going to be part of this DC universe going forward. Yes, the movie flopped, but let's talk about what we liked from this. Sam, I want to start with you. You just saw it last night. You're going to give a different perspective than the three dudes here and all the other angry dudes on the internet. So can we please start with you? What went right with this movie and what did you like?
I really liked Millie Alcock as Supergirl. Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of over sweetness, I think, of the character of Supergirl, and I feel like there was a lot more realness to her coming from the history, and the way that they painted her getting there as a character and why she was so dark and sad and angry at the world, angry at her situation. I thought they did a good job of trying to outline that in terms of pacing it throughout the film to fully explain why she is the way that she is. And I liked her contrast to Superman. I found that even more comical and more funny when you did get David Cornsweet on screen and they were having a dynamic together. I loved that because I do feel like the character of Superman is so pure and so good in so many ways. To have someone that's from the same place be completely different, I felt very refreshing and felt a little bit more honest to then the future world building of extending this franchise, because you can't just have two crazy sweet people, you know, out there saving everyone. Everyone's gonna get annoyed and bored. So I felt like this was a good balance between the two.
Jag, you also saw this movie yesterday. Your thoughts coming out of it?
My thoughts were, I was like disappointed, but not for any of the reasons that are going on the internet. And it's actually just some comic book reasons. So with that being said, the film was fine. Not everything's going to be exactly like the comic. And I think you've said, I don't know if it's on the pod or in the group chat, Alfredo, that if they would have maybe went with anything but Woman of Tomorrow, my expectations would be a little bit different. And I loved Millie Alcock because she was Supergirl from Woman of Tomorrow. People are like, she called Clark a bitch. Again, read a comic. She literally like solos the planet that almost killed Superman in the comic and calls him a pussy about it. That's like...
Yeah, she's like, he only lasted 45 minutes in this shit? And the Justice League had to come save him? Watch this. Hold my beer.
Exactly.
Literally.
Alfredo, you've read.
Yes.
Look at that.
I'm studious.
Big boy knowledge.
That's right.
There was lots of pictures, that's why.
There was beautiful art, very few words. It made it so easy. Hungry Caterpillar, you're next. I love this. Kopf, you and I got to see it together, and I loved Millie Alcock as Supergirl. I didn't love the movie. And that's okay. And I think like we need to have those conversations where we say, I didn't love this movie, but it was fine. We were talking about this prior to this, is that like, I kind of liked this more than the recent Fantastic Four movie. This, at least, Sam, as you mentioned, there was a grittiness to this character. We kind of see how she plays off of the dynamic of other characters. I think Jag, where I continue to lean with like where I think I would have liked to see something different is maybe just don't do the direct adaptation of Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But I think
something else.
I think what they did though is they gave us they did the job. They gave us a casting that we all like. They gave us a relatable character that I think is easily accessible to anyone walking into the theater. And then we got the chemistry with David Cornsweet. And I think that's the thing that you are most concerned about is how is this character going to play into the DCU going forward? Kopf, you and I watched this together. Leaving the theater, you were higher on it than I was. So what worked for you in this? What went right?
For me, the best parts of the movie were the emotional beats, especially between Kara and her parents. When you get those lines of, hey, your uncle sent your cousin to be a conqueror, you don't have to do that. Just be a good person. I think that is a central theme to this movie that people are overlooking, and getting those emotional beats of Kara having to deal with the fact that her entire planet was destroyed before she was even born, but the small Argo City being preserved by her parents, and then growing up in that environment, and then still losing all of that. So for me, it was the emotional heartbeats of this film that really, really worked for me. And maybe that may have been a misstep from this being a first movie that we get introduced to Supergirl, truly. But overall, I enjoyed those aspects. My favorite scene of all is when she goes out to space and does the silent scream of frustration and
Yes.
rage, and just everything building up, and her just letting it go into the emptiness of space. That shit hit me so hard in the theater. That's where I think this movie really shines. And then we could talk about what technically went wrong later on.
Well, you're 1,000% right, dude. Like my favorite parts were the parts you don't always love in a hero movie. You know, it was the emotional hits, the not. I love that Krypton was quick because for her it never happened, but seeing Argon City go slowly it was wonderful. The real question is, do you think that David Krumholtz and Bradley Cooper could actually
Be brothers.
They're adopted brothers.
I turned to him in the theater and I'm like, oh my God, they're brothers.
Yeah, like if you squint, maybe you can see it.
Yeah.
What's best though is I love how they reinforced the part that Bradley Cooper sent Superman to be a conqueror, and they're like, why? What the hell is he doing? Why would he want that?
But you know what? Like as almost as crazy as it sounds, I kind of love that they do that and reinforce, as you're saying, because it shows how even within the same family you can be so different. And we immediately see that with Kara and Cal. We see that with Jor-El and Zor-El. Like we can see the different dynamics between these characters, and I think you needed that. Like I don't think you could come into this and have another established Supergirl who's super happy, and you got now these two super happy super characters with their fun dog, and welcome to the DCU where it's rainbows and butterflies. Like I think you needed this, but I don't know. I struggle with this being the introduction to Kara, and we're going to talk more about that and what we didn't like from this. But guys, if you're here and you're watching this, you already like comic book content, you like heroes, you watch TV, you watch movies. Please subscribe to Unbinged. We've got a bunch of great stuff coming up for you. Every Monday, we are covering House of the Dragon Season 3. Every Wednesday, we're going to be covering X-Men 97. We've got a 3-episode drop starting tomorrow. And then on Thursday nights, we're going to be dropping the episodes of Silo, where we're going to be recapping those every night right after they air on Apple TV. If you're listening over on Apple or Spotify, take a sec to leave a 5-star review. Those have been helping us so much. You guys have been kicking ass with those, and we're going to do our best to keep giving you guys the best content possible. And then every Tuesday for our premium subscribers, we are going to have premium episodes for you guys where we're just going to be going a little bit beyond recapping and watching stuff on TV. We're going to be talking about a few more things. So be sure to join us there. Now, guys, we had, I think, a very normal discussion, which is crazy for the internet. That just doesn't happen. No. Wild, nuts. If you enjoy normal discussion, stick around because we're going to keep doing that. What went wrong? What went wrong? Because I think there are plenty of things we can talk about that went wrong. I think for me, and I just want to kick us off here, even the things that I liked, where the movie is about identity, someone battling depression, someone battling so many different things, I think that's a tough way to start out an introduction to a character. Because even though she can be more accessible, it's so hard for an audience to walk out of there and feel good about the character. And I looked back at some other characters and movies where this has happened, where there's more of like a depression and an identity theme to it. Logan, that's Old Man Logan. That's an established character that's been around for a long time. Guardians 3, the third of the films. Amazing Spider-Man 2, ass. Black Panther 2, that was tough because it was around a real life death. Thunderbolts, I think, was one of the few that it worked, but
I love that movie.
But box office wise, It didn't hit. And so now we're kind of seeing is like, yeah, we constantly ask for more nuanced storytelling, and I didn't dislike that part, but I'm saying I think that's what doesn't work for people. Is people leave the theater and they go, wasn't cool, wasn't fun, the colors were muted, and for a lot of those things, yes, they're right. I just don't think that's going to appeal to a grand mass of audience.
I have a question then. If you're saying, and I love the list that you put together here, it's painting a picture for me to understand, because I haven't read comic books. And there's a lot of superhero movies that I like just because I like the explosions and the fun colors, and sometimes I'm just a child that likes those things. But I'm interested because the way that you're painting this kind of makes sense, because when we were introduced to Spider-Man with Marvel, he's introduced in Civil War, and he's just a fun extra character that you get to know, and then you get to know him later. Part of me wonders is like, what would your other movie have been then had it not been this one? Like, what would have been the better pacer for her to come out? Would it have been, some sort of movie where someone else is the hero and she's secondary and more sidekick like in it, and then we get this as like a flashback? Is this going to be something where when we watch the timeline of DCU and their plans going ahead, we're like where everything's going, this was just copy paste, move it, and it's just going to be a positioning issue?
Can I jump in here?
Please.
Yes, that's what you do, because like I understand who Supergirl is fundamentally. Like Alfredo, you read it now. You understand Supergirl. You've also watched JLU. Like her youthfulness, her attitude is baked into the character. Then when you have like a lot of people who haven't read and have a lot of CW bullshit, that's where you brought up the girliness in there. That's where some people's thoughts of Supergirl are, and that just it's almost like what's it called, the Mandela effect, where we have two different characters in our brain. So you need to bring in someone that's established, that everyone trusts, do a good job, and then bring in Supergirl and Superman 2 and do what you did with Mr. Terrific. People didn't know who Mr. Terrific is. Now everyone is ready for that Mr. Terrific film, and they would be absolutely hyped for it. Yes. But asking someone to come in and love a character and you not nail it, because let's go back to what you said with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The first Guardians of the Galaxy, they fucking nailed. No one knew what that was going to be, but James Gunn nailed it. So it's not even just that your choice of character was off. It's that you didn't knock it out of the park. You hit a single. That's just not enough to win the game.
You know what, too? And like specifically Guardians, because I know a lot of people are going to compare Guardians to this because
not even the same director. James Gunn. We know.
Yeah, not even the same director. The thing is, too, is like a lot of those movies ended up being ensemble movies that had a lot of fun and at least one character that you could identify with or attach yourself to. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of people that walked into this movie, loved it, and like, I really identify with Lobo. I get it. This guy makes sense. Like I think it hit a very niche audience, and I think that was the struggle there too. It was people that were dealing with something greater than just like the explosions and the pretty colors. It had to be someone that had a little more emotional depth, and that's such a tough thing to start with. Mm-hmm. To answer your question, Sam, there's a reason I'm not the head of a studio or a director, but I think that there's a way that you bring her into Superman Man of Tomorrow, where this is something where they're going up against Brainiac or a big villain where he needs more help. I think what happened is the typical Marvel DC thing where they kind of backed themselves into a corner, where at the end of Superman, they're like, oh yeah, she flies off to Red Sun planets to go get drunk. And while that has been part of her story at times, you kind of now, like, you set it up where it's like, okay, when we meet her again, she's going to be drunk and she's going to be dealing with her shit. You had no other direction to go. So I think that they put themselves into a corner with that.
My choice would have been a Wally West Flash movie. We already have an established DC timeline. And the reason why I would want Wally West is we already got hints that Lanterns is, and this is why I said I'm going to go into some deep shit, Alfredo. You put the quarter in the jukebox and you're going to let me go. That if we're going to get the Light War, if we're going to get the big Lantern story with the Black Lanterns, Barry Allen needs to be dead. but Barry Allen is just lost in the Speed Force. So I'm not saying that Barry Allen is gone, but I want Wally West to be our Flash and our main one, because it helps us kind of forget about the Barry Allen Flash that we just got that really fucking sucked. And we can kind of move on from that. And B, he's just a favorite that everyone loves. And here's my next segue. You're trying to get people to watch a Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd story. That's fucking awesome. But I am an absolute geek, dude. Like, you need to introduce Gorilla Grodd into a Flash story.
Yes.
Because, like, people don't realize that Gorilla Grodd is, like, a top 5 Flash villain, like, in his Rogues Gallery. So if you bring in Gorilla Grodd like that, then we're ready for a Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd story. Because, like, James Gunn right now, I'm going to be really crude. Say earmuffs. Instead of starting with one finger, he's starting with 3.
Yikes.
You know?
I just pushed
You're
my
not
headphones
wrong.
further into my ears, so it was just louder.
You're not wrong. James Gunn's letting his freak flag fly a little too early with things where he's like, hey, you guys want this sort of like cool, what's the animation style going to be for Dynamic Duo, where it's almost like a claymation puppetry
It's
thing?
a fucking Muppet, dude.
Like,
We're losing the plot a little.
Here's a Mr. Miracle animated thing. We started off with Creature Commandos, where I'm just like, this stuff's fun, but we're also dorks that love DC. Does this really attract the general audience? Is this the best way to go? And that's where I look online and people are saying, okay, the angry people on Reddit says, I genuinely don't know what they're doing with this universe. Their releases make no sense. What are these films building to? While I don't believe they need to build to something, I think general audiences have come to expect something.
They a little bit do.
They little bit do, but like I think you could still have your individual stories.
And what they need to do is kind of like, Sam, you're caught up on the DCU because you started with this with Superman. Mm-hmm. You have not watched Peacemaker. You have not watched Creature Commandos, right?
Get it together, Sam.
No. Let me prove my point. It has no impact on you and your experience with Supergirl. However, if you were to go back and watch it, you would appreciate it. Because you're like, oh, look, it's Rick Flag Sr. And there's like a whole fucking plot line. These are things that are separate, but they add to it. And that's what you do. I'm not saying that, oh, you have to watch Flash to get the Gorilla Grodd thing. You could probably just watch the Gorilla, or you have to watch the Gorilla Grodd thing to get the next thing. It's just maybe introduce a character to audiences so they are familiar with them. And it's not so much that you want to force people to watch and read all of your stuff or they're going to be lost. I'm looking at the entire comic book industry.
Yeah, I think for myself, because I haven't read comic books, I feel a little intimidated by DC because I'm just less familiar. But to your point that you highlighted earlier, the way that they handled, Mr. Terrific with Superman, I'm like, who is this character? He's amazing, and I need more of him. So how they could have done that with Supergirl before giving us this movie, I would have been interested in.
If you guys want a comic book exec, I'm very confident. Alfredo's not. I could do this job. So
it's called being humble.
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that.
No one ever gave a humble guy a job.
You're not wrong. I think there's ways to do it. Like I even look back to Black Panther, where he was thrown into Civil War. Civil War for Marvel introduced Black Panther and Spider-Man. Like major fucking characters that were eventually meant and thought to lead the MCU after the death of Iron Man. And they were just brought in as secondary characters in someone else's story. And I wonder if that's probably not the better way to do these things.
So maybe
and
have
Black
Supergirl
Panther was never better than in that movie. I'm sorry. I love Ryan Coogler. I'm sorry you could take a black point from me. It was better in Civil War.
We don't have that authority.
Okay.
I'm not allowed.
You can dock yourself, but no one on this podcast has that authority.
So maybe if Supergirl had a bigger part of the Superman movie, this transition would have worked a little bit better. Going from, like you're saying, having her be a little bit more established than a quick, haha, thanks for watching my dog, bitch, and then dipping. But actually seeing her involved in maybe the last act of the movie maybe would have made this transition a little bit smoother. My biggest issue with the movie is more on the technical side. We get such vibrant colors and backgrounds in the Tom King comic run that this movie was so muted as far as the color grading and the lighting that even some of the action scenes in the first and second act, it was hard to see what was happening because they were filmed in dark alleys or inside of a dungy, a dank and dungy like spaceship, and it's like, all right, I can't quite tell who's hitting who right now. If they had given us this story, which is very much centered around the self journey of overcoming that depression and trying to show this young woman in Ruthie that, there are better ways than just revenge killing everyone that does you wrong. If they had given us that story, but had the vibrancy in the background of the Tom King style color grading, I think it would have been a better received movie as well, because then you'd have that contrast of super bright colors, but a really dark story. And I think that would have hit better for me, at least.
So I need to do a very, very needed correction. Tom King wrote it. Supergirl is famously drawn by a female comic artist that is just incredible, and it is Bilky Evely. And
that's why the planet is
named
named after Bilky.
Thank you for that correction.
Yeah.
You know what? And this leads me to my question is, when we look back at like the MCU and what worked for them was they didn't do direct adaptations of comics. They sort of blended things. And like when you look at like Thor,
they did amalgamations.
Yeah. Like when you look at Thor Ragnarok, like it's a little bit of Planet Hulk in there. And then like you look at various stories and there's things that they were not direct adaptations of comics. And I think at first it seemed like, oh, that's great for DC. They're going to do direct adaptations of comics because the stories are there. Just follow the stories. But then maybe you worry that it's like, okay, now we're just Disney live action where we're just retelling the same story, but in a live action premise. Maybe that's not the best and most creative way to go, because a lot of the things that I've seen people complaining about in Supergirl are actually just things from like Woman of Tomorrow. Like I've seen people complaining about like that there's a green sun, and why is Ruthie such a prominent character, and this Krem villain is kind of ass. And it's like, guys, these are the things that happen in the story. Like, by the way, she rides a Pegasus named Comet. That's actually a dude to the end of the universe. Like, that's
the last Kryptonians.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at Sam's face. That happens in the comic. And they,
Sam, it's in the mail.
Out of nowhere.
Please read it. I encourage you to read it. I'm not lying. It's actually in the mail.
So I wonder if maybe the better choice here for DC is don't take direct adaptations. Start to mix some things in there together. Get a little creative with it. Blend some stories.
I disagree to you slightly. I want you to shit or get off the pot with it. It's the half-ass thing that's the problem here. Because I think Woman of Tomorrow is such a... And it's weird to know Tom King and said that he wrote such a very good female story, because this nigga's like ex-CIA. But anyway, that aside, I think that like Krem was too much of part of the movie here. Like he was actually kind of entertaining at times, like his little hoo shit,
He had a little Pennywise to him at times.
He did have a little Pennywise to him. I fucked with it. But like the problem with Krem comic versus here is Krem was a total coward pussy in the comic. Yeah. He was just throwing things at Supergirl.
He goes like, full Homelander by the end.
Yeah, he was basically Kevin from Home Alone to Supergirl, essentially.
Just to put obstacles in her path.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he knew he couldn't fight her directly, which is they changed.
He's just dropping micro machines in front of her, paint cans.
Yeah. And so like Krem was both too much and not good enough of a villain. So if you just make a different villain entirely, you can kind of get away from that. And here's what I think the problem is. I read this and I said, that's what's wrong. Craig Gillespie, this never fucking works, guys. It never, ever works. He said, I didn't want to read the comic because I wanted to make a gritty story beyond that. And it fucking showed. So, Kopf, everything you just said, that's why.
So wait.
That is why.
That's not the full quote. And that's a quote that keeps getting misrepresented. His full quote was he didn't want to read the comic before reading the screenplay. He read the screenplay, then went back and read the comic because he said he wanted to see what Anna's vision for this was first. So he did actually read it. I still think he probably just did a bad job of it. And that comes back.
Either way.
That comes back to my greater point, though, is that when you're going to make these things directly one for one based off of the source material, it's always going to be compared to the source material. And you have to beat it. You either have to match it or beat it. And
I'd agree. And,
and-
again, I'm going to go to Guardians. It beat the source material. Quicksilver beat the source material. Fox Quicksilver, not Marvel.
but did they mix and match, or were they going one for one exact adaptations of a single issue comic?
Mix and match.
That's
Okay, but I want to kind of push back on that in terms of the quote, because I kind of want to lean on Jag's side here.
Sure.
Because as someone that reads a ton of books, and by read, I mean, of course, audiobooks, I'm going through a ton of content, and they're coming out with so many shows and movies based on so many things, because book talk is trending in a massive way. As someone that's, digesting all of this content, I'm always going to books first. And I think that it's really important, if you're trying to do an adaptation, to find the reason why we're actually going to be doing the movie or the show. You need to find the reason why and the fan base for all the things that they love first, and then go into the writing. So I kind of understand someone writing a script and just saying, like, this could be great. But if you're not starting with the source material and a crazy ass wall of red string and all the dots and the things that you love and what you're trying to do before you're going into that process, I think that's doing a disservice to the fans that do love all the original things. I think you have to have it at the beginning.
So I don't want to. I'm not trying to defend it that hard. Anna Nogueira, the writer, did read it. Then she wrote her screenplay. Then the director, Craig Gillespie, had not read the comic, read the screenplay, and then said, okay, this is great. Now I'm going to read the comic. And that's where his fault is that he went, oh, this is cool. Let's ride with this. That's where I'm going to fault him for this. And honestly, we talked about this before. Like, I haven't really loved many of his movies anyways. They're kind of...
It's kind of bad, dude. Like, when I read it, I was
okay.
like, ooh. Yeah.
What are his other movies?
I, Tonya, Dumb Money.
That's pretty good.
I, Tonya, I think, was the best one. Dumb Money. We had mentioned these all in our last episode. Sam, go watch. Like and subscribe.
But
yeah, go, Jack.
I was just gonna thank Sam, because like she's right. Like, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, it was a comic that made me like comics for non-comic things, if that makes sense. Like, to go back to like Evely's art, I fell in love with this one. I didn't know it was a woman. I was like, whoever this person is, like, it is just phenomenal. And I went back and looked at previous art just for that. And then even the comic hits the emotional bits. And I think it's like, I go back to my point, shit or get off the pot. Because Ruthie is a rock farmer in the book. So, like, trying to make her dad, like, a badass and then, like, her being fucking useless is, like, annoying. But if you make her, like, this weak-ass little rock farmer girl with no talent at anything and sell that, I think all those, like, bits are better, in my opinion. So,
Guys, one character who is in this movie, not in the comic, Lobo. I've seen everything from Lobo is the best part of this movie to Lobo does not work. Jag, your face says it all for you. You did not like Lobo in this movie.
I'm tired of Jason Momoa, and maybe Lobo isn't good live action and direct adaptation. Because I'm like, that's a Lobo line, but that fucking sucks. And it was the fake abs, the fake cigar. He made the movie cheap, in my opinion.
I think the struggle with Momoa is that he kind of plays all of his characters exactly like him, but with a tint of whatever that character is. Like, he's kind of the same dude in each of them. Whether it's been Aquaman, Lobo, Fast and Furious, even Minecraft to an extent, there's just like a small character tint over
He's the
who
Rock
Momoa
Baja
is.
Blast.
Yeah. I will say I don't hate the idea of using
That Code
Lobo.
Red?
I don't hate the idea of using Lobo in this story, because I think it could have worked better, because I think Lobo is who Kara becomes if she stops caring. Someone who is willing to kill and not really give a fuck about it and sort of laugh it off and just go about her way and just be this person going from planet to planet killing people. So it's kind of a look into what Kara's future could have been. I don't think they did it great in this story. And I actually almost wonder, Lobo's probably one of those guys, if you wanted to do a show, do it Peacemaker style with Lobo and him going planet to planet and going on different adventures, and that works. Not sort of shoehorning him into this where you're actually asking, why is he here? Even his introduction is literally just Kara reading off his stats. It was like Monday Night Football, where she's like, Lobo attended Drexel University, leading pastor there, also killed his whole planet.
I don't know, Jim. Lots
Now
of
here's
off
a
the
guy.
field issues.
Here's a guy.
Collinsworth just
third round
slides
pick.
in.
Could you imagine if Gunn was like, let's do a Dog the Bounty Hunter style show with Lobo?
Actually,
I
fuck
fuck
yeah,
with it.
dude. Yeah, but that's like a year 2 show. Let's get out.
Right.
some
That's not
Barry
immediate.
Allen.
That is
Yeah.
that is more after everything's been established. Like, let's have some fun with this shit. He both worked for me and didn't work for me. I saw what they were trying to do with him, and they're trying to give him some comedic moments to help lighten the story, and they kind of fell flat a little bit. I did like his scene when he's in the cell next to Ruthie. That scene I liked because his dynamic of him basically
He's like,
being
"You're a
the
savage. I love
devil
it."
on, yeah, being the devil on Ruthie's shoulder, be like, yeah, kill him, do it. And it's like versus the opposite with Carrie being like, look, your soul is important. I'm already damaged. I can take on the weight of this taking a life. You are still too young to really need to have that kind of darkness overtake your soul. So it both worked and didn't work for me. The moments where they were trying to make him like, haha, larger than life and fun, fell flat. But I could see why they wanted
Cigar.
to. Exactly. It was like,
The fucking
all right, these
cigar,
are just
man.
little
I can't
bits that
stop.
didn't work.
I can't stop. Sam, you're a cigar smoker. Did it not fucking bother you that it was a vape the whole fucking time? It was a fucking vape, man.
It was weird.
It was egregious.
It was
and
like
his ab corset.
his ab corset.
Those were fake abs, man. Like Jason Momoa is a big dude, and
I just would have liked
pulled
a
the Drake. He got some fake abs.
more obviously shirtless Momoa would have made me happy. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. He doesn't even need to be shredded. Just look big and like you, and
Can
then
be
everyone would
both.
probably be happy. Like I wish they would Nolan it up just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
so
That's a good way to put it. It felt like they did half steps.
Give
They
us a little
weren't
more
willing to
realism.
commit fully to either if they want a gritty story, they fell short. If they want to have comedic moments, they kind of fell short there too. They even had to throw in, Seth Rogen as a side character to give us like, hey,
I actually love that.
that was
I did love that little character.
Fucking love.
Well,
I don't
what,
care, man.
What was his
See,
line where he's like, I don't have the something or the balls to do it, so no. I
Well,
won't.
he's like, yeah, I could if I had fuel or
balls.
that was
But you can almost see where the script had to be like, all right, pause. We need a comedic moment. How do we fix
Right.
that? Throw in Seth Rogen as a side character. And so you can almost see where it's like cut and pasted together. And that's where I think people had the biggest issue with this script is it felt a little choppy. And especially in the middle parts where it dragged a bit.
If you're worried about
again,
this,
it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not even the worst movie I've seen this year. Looking at you, Spielberg and Disclosure Day.
I love it.
he's so mad.
there it is.
Still, I will never stop being mad at that movie.
There it is.
Okay, I have something I want to jump in on with the Lobo conversation, and maybe it's partially a question, but my thing and why I didn't love him in this, I'm not familiar with this character, and I knew from before watching this that Jason Momoa was all about playing this character, so I was excited to see what this character would be like. I just found myself slightly annoyed because I wanted to see a Supergirl movie where I'm seeing her, dominate villains and, see things come at her and then overcome the odds. I was kind of annoyed that there were parts where she's struggling and I'm like, so is Lobo going to come and save her? Like, I didn't want a movie where she needed to be saved by a character like him.
By a man.
Not just by a man, but like by his status and stature of a character. I didn't feel like it needed that. And I didn't also like the idea that she needed to be saved in that way. I felt there was a lot. I don't know anything about Ruthie's character. I really hated how weak she was, and she was just kind of painting herself into a corner to continue with that. I wish that she had been, I don't want to say smarter because that feels wrong to say, but more clever
capable?
in ways to overcome the fact that she didn't have the physical strength to assist in any possible way, rather than just being bait that continues to get caught. I was really annoyed with that, where I was like, oh, now I guess Lobo's going to come in and save her. And that was just kind of felt too easy. And I don't know, there was a part of that really annoyed me.
So to your
Man,
point,
for all the
Sam,
things that you want, man, I have a book for you.
I'm scared.
So to your point, Sam, Man of Tomorrow or Woman of Tomorrow, and this movie are the bones of it are a Western like True Grit, where it's supposed to be an incapable character going and getting somebody more established and stronger to seek revenge on someone that hurt them and their family. Mm-hmm. And so Ruthie's never really supposed to be capable. She's supposed to be kind of a roadblock and an obstacle unintentionally that Kara then has to kind of set to the side and be like, okay, I'm the one that takes on all the bullshit. And so, yes, I can see why that's annoying in the movie, but that's kind of the point of her character.
And to your point on her needing to be safe thing, that's why I think that maybe Alfredo's right, man. Just stay away. If you're not going to do Woman of Tomorrow, just don't do it. Because, like, quite literally, it's Kara going through some shit and soloing the fuck out of people. I'm going to go a step further. To me, the comic was Space John Wick. That's what it was with Kara, is Space John Wick. Like, there's corrupt aliens she fucks up. She beats up dinosaurs on a red planet. We get the green sun. There is no saving her. There's only one moment where she is saved, and it is incredibly emotional. And I know the horse is weird, but it's very important to that part.
The ex-boyfriend Space Pegasus.
Yes.
Ex-boyfriend Space Pegasus.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking weird,
sounds
man.
like a
And it's
fever dream.
because
It's weird, but it's good.
They pulled it from the Silver Age comic from like the 1950s. Like, yeah, we're just gonna yank this one character, throw it in, and then just be along for the ride.
I will say there's something that I am excited about with Lobo, is seeing him with David Cornsweet's Superman.
I don't want it anymore.
You don't want it anymore at all?
I'm too icked out, bro.
You're
I
too
don't want
icked
it.
out.
He gave you the ick?
I think he can get better at this role. I think there were still some redeeming moments, like Kopf said, like in the prison. I'm like, okay, he's like, I can vibe with that version of the character. The way he first came on screen, I was like, oh no, this isn't great. And then the sort of end where he's just watching Kara kill Krem, and he's like, yeah, and then just drives away like he does, next time, baby. And then just like, you know, Terrence Howard's out of there.
Creepy.
Inhales
creepy,
vape. Yeah.
Like it's a little odd, but I do think that all of these characters, whether it's Lobo, Kara Zor-El, I think they play well off of David Cornsweet's Superman, and that's something I think that we leaving this movie can say, okay, I still think the DCU is in good hands because everyone plays well off of each other, and the castings I think have all been relatively good throughout, like no matter who we're looking at.
Alfredo, something you and I discussed when we left the movie was how tonally different this was from Superman, and how we both agreed that was a good thing. Because one of the something that the MCU did wrong, especially after Guardians, was they were like, that worked. Everything moving forward is going to be paint by numbers. Song. Exactly. So having the DCU right out of the gate be like, you're going to get Superman, which is incredibly bright, fun, good, wholesome story, and then you're going to get a tonally different Supergirl. And then Lantern's going to be tonally different from that. And then Clayface is going to be incredibly tonally different because it's supposed to be a more horror and psychological thriller.
Then Grodd.
Then Grodd. And then you even look back at the shows like Peacemaker and Creature Commandos, totally different from each other and from Superman. So as long as they keep that in mind moving forward, where we can't let ourselves get boxed into the corner of shit, let's just play the same tape that worked the first time and hope that audiences don't notice.
Yeah, I'm happy that they are willing to take risks tonally and do different things. I'm very curious to see how Clayface goes, because I think that can sort of set a tone for how dark this universe can get, what it can be. I think what ends up happening, though, and this is more putting the business hat on, is you start to attract all these different audiences for different movies, and those don't carry over to the next one. So does the Supergirl audience carry over to Clayface? Does the Clayface audience carry over to the Jimmy Olsen Gorilla Grodd show? Like where do these things start to line up? I think the hardcore DC fans are watching no matter what. I think when you start to think business and what it's going to do at the box office and just get people out there, I do get worried. It's like how does it work from a business standpoint? Because someone else, I think it was John Campea, who we're actually going to reference him twice today. He had this line where he's like, James Gunn either needs to direct all of the movies in the DCU or direct none of them and just oversee it. Instead of this kind of like half in, half out, like his movies are good, but then other people's movies aren't. Like do the full on Kevin Feige thing where you are setting it up, overseeing it, and we know it has your stamp of approval.
So like you don't want him to be like Jordan Peele of comic books in a sense.
What do you mean by that?
I think the biggest issue is that there's too many projects they want to do for him to be directly involved and helm.
Dog, you're the head of the studio. Like you better.
No, not
At least
what I'm
approval.
saying. Being the director of
Yeah.
each one, I agree with the Kevin Feige thing. He needs to take a step back and just be the general manager of DC, right? And not maybe the head coach. Stop trying to pull a Pat Riley and be the GM and the coach.
Jackie Moon, player, owner,
Jackie
coach.
Moon, baby. I think that to finish my point is I think being Jordan Peele means that you're approving too many things that you maybe not overseeing carefully. And all because like we love Jordan Peele movies, but when it's like directed by Jordan Peele, you're like, yeah. But when you hear
then you get
executive
him.
produced by Jordan Peele, you're like, ooh, you know.
Him.
That was ass.
I've almost watched it twice. But I'm like,
I got halfway through it and I was like, I don't want to finish this, but I kind of need to.
and you work in football for a living. Like, who is this for? I am black and work in football, and I'm like, I'm good.
Never mind. You know what? I also think, like, within the same breath, too, I think there's a lot of things that we like about James Gunn that he has done in movies where we go, man, that works. I really like his style. And there's other times where you can sort of see his influence on the movies, and I'm going to specifically talk about the ending here. The thing that everyone has been talking about is the needle drop. The needle drop of getting an acoustic version of the middle did not work in that scene. And I think
that was a weak ass song, man.
It was, I think that works as she stabs Krem, and then that song starts playing as maybe she's flying away with Ruthie, and that works. Kopf, I said it maybe 10 fucking times after we saw it. Call Me by Blondie was right there. It was in the trailer over and over and over, and I was actually disappointed we didn't hear it once in the movie. And it would have been perfect for her to just show up and save the day with the song Call Me. And you get the cool rock thing that James Gunn always does, which, by the way, like, he sort of did the Lois Lane, Mr. Terrific is beating up people around me thing, where they do the one shot where it's like the person they're focusing on isn't actually fighting, but someone is fighting elsewhere while music plays. It's Baby Groot in the opening credits of Guardians 2. It's Yondu with his arrow. It's like, we get the
Craig
the
Gillespie tried to do a trick that he's not as good at, is what happened. Stop trying to play skate. For people who don't understand that reference, skate is what skaters play. That's like horse. I think that he flopped, and maybe, especially when you look at his, like, I, Tonya, going back to that, what in his past catalog says that he could do that? And I guess I'm not trying to say you shouldn't try new things, but, like, maybe make this, like, your way and not so much try to make it James Gunn's way.
Yeah. Let's play a little quick this or that. Supergirl or Suicide Squad, the first one?
Oh, Supergirl by a
Supergirl
lot.
by a fucking mile.
I forgot about that film. Why did you do that to me?
Because it also had a really bad needle drop with the
You're talking about
Eminem
Academy
song,
Award
where
winning?
Academy Award winning.
Suicide Squad?
I forgot for its effects. Yeah, that one also had a really bad needle drop, the Eminem song, as they're all changing, and they're like doing in the close up of Margot Robbie as she's changing.
And that started with Action Bronson. Like there was some good needle drops.
There were some
and
really
then it
good
just
ones.
yeah, and then it was just like the
Yep.
horse meme.
Supergirl or Blue Beetle?
Supergirl.
Supergirl or Aquaman?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Supergirl.
All
Which Aquaman? The first one or second one?
Doesn't matter.
Dude, I would never talk about the second one on a podcast.
Doesn't matter.
We want people to take us seriously.
Yeah, no.
That wasn't even good background. like I'm working, throwing it on. I was like, yeah, I'd rather watch The Office.
Guys, it's funny, I'm looking here at the upcoming DC slate. I actually made an error on one of these as I was writing it because it is so similar to it. One of the reports came out that the movie that they are prioritizing now in DCU is going to be Deathstroke and Bane, and I accidentally wrote it as Deadpool and Bane, and someone in the show sheet wrote question mark.
That was me. I
The
was
fuck?
like, I don't know anything, but that sounds wrong.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely wrong. And you start to look at the upcoming DC slate. They've got the Lanterns show, which by all accounts does look great. Clayface, which has Mike Flanagan attached to it, seems like it could be great. Superman Man of Tomorrow, the initial shots seem great. The Batman Part 2, I think Jag and I might actually levitate out of our bodies and just achieve full nirvana when that movie comes out.
I love that movie. I love Batman.
Good. The
I need a new comfort film.
oh,
HBO just says, "Are you sure?" When I want to watch it.
Jag's about to double feature them. Just 6 straight hours of depression.
Just make sure you hydrate first.
Yeah, definitely hydrate. We got Creature Commandos animated, Dynamic Duo animated, Mr. Miracle animated, Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd probably should
Live
be
action.
animated if we're going to be real, but okay. How do we feel about this upcoming DC slate? Is there, I don't want to say panic meter, but what's the confidence level? 1 out of 10 here with DC. Are we still good? Because after Superman, we were like, yo, confidence is at a 10. It's out of 10. Love James Gunn. Love what we're doing here. Then it dropped a little bit after Peacemaker. It maybe dropped a little bit after Supergirl. The ending of Peacemaker was ass off. We did that here on this podcast. We didn't.
I can't remember what happened.
Nick, that's the point.
Yeah, I do remember.
That's
Never
the
mind,
point.
never
You
mind,
just
never
said
mind.
it.
I remember. Took me a second.
You answered that question yourself. So where are we at if we have a confidence level with DC right now?
7 to 8, and this is like James Gunn. I'm worried if he's LA Lakers LeBron that first year, where it's just like
Where he won in
Like,
the bubble,
Supergirl Kyle
and then
Kuzma?
It's been... Oh no!
I'm thinking Rajon Rondo, where it's just like we're like. Where they're like, let's surround LeBron with people who can't shoot, even though he is not the best shooter ever. It's like Rondo, Lance Stevenson.
Well,
just a
then
bunch of
Corn sweats LeBron. then.
Westbrook.
Yeah, but like, and the more I'm looking at, like, Craig Gillespie is easily the like Mo Cheeks of this team. You know, like he's just not very good. He's a Mario Chalmers on this team.
You put some respect on Mario Chalmers.
I don't even put respect on that name.
Yeah, dude.
You mean
I
multiple
am
champion
very-
Mario Chalmers? Relax.
Yeah,
for sure.
I am very excited for the next 2 projects in Lanterns and in Mike Flanagan's Clayface. I have a lot of hype for both of those. So my hype meter is still like 8 or 9 for the DC.
The next 4 movies look like next 4, I guess, major projects look like bangers.
Look-
It's Lanterns,
that's
it's
absolutely
Clayface,
incredible.
it's Superman Man of Tomorrow, and then the Batman Part 2.
Right. So I think as long as they continue to have these giant tentpoles holding up the overall DC, you can have some of these projects that don't quite do amazing, and it's fine because you have you have the Batman, you have Superman, Man of Tomorrow. You have if Clayface is what I hope it is, that will both surprise a lot of people in the general audience, but also give us an avenue for some really, really dark, horrific shit in the DCU moving forward.
I think I'm still very excited for where this is going to go. And this movie combined with Superman, I feel like I'm still like a 9 in level of excited. And I like the way that you guys called it out earlier in terms of this being a tonal shift. And then watching, the pacing go from Lanterns to Clayface to Superman. The trailer for Clayface, I'm like pins and needles, like on the edge of my seat. I'm like, I have no idea because I have no familiarity with this character, what this is about to be. But
With Clayface?
with Clayface, I need to see what
it's
it
gonna be
is.
so good.
Did you ever watch
I wanna
the
be a
90s Batman animated series?
Sam. Okay, we need to do this. Let's.
Do we have a separate show or we like whiteboard it?
No. It's so simple. I got you. There are 2 episodes of Batman the Animated Series, and we can
It's on
watch them.
HBO right
we can
now.
watch them together, and that's what the movie is going to be based off of.
Oh, this is like I had an ex give me like a list of all the
Don't ever
animated
compare us
Star
to an
Wars
ex.
movies. No,
Don't
like
you ever.
that was the one helpful thing he ever did. He gave me a list of all the
Yikes.
animated shows that I needed to watch to be prepared for the Ashoka series for Star
Sam
Wars,
speaking
and I
of
was
all,
like,
okay.
"Oh, okay." And then I watched all of them. And then I watched that, and I was like, "I love this show," but I wouldn't have loved it if I hadn't watched all the animated stuff.
Can I do that for you platonically?
Yes, you can. Please. Do that, and then like, let's make it as a post, because I think those that are actually curious would want to learn. And like, I mean, I'm always a student of the game, so like, please just like educate me. Put it on like
That's a
3-ring
great
binder
idea,
paper,
Alfredo.
and then post it.
Guys, last thing on here. We actually really quick. Let's give our numbers, our ratings on Supergirl. 1 to 10. Let's go. Jack, start us off.
6.
6. Kopf?
7.
I'm going 6.5. Sam?
7.5.
That's right. That's right. 6, 6.5,
It's pretty
7,
on
7.5.
brand.
That is so
Yeah.
on brand.
It's on brand.
That's great job, everybody. Guys, last things that we talked about here. I teased this at the beginning of the show. It looks like we've got some casting rumors that I don't know. They seem to be plausible here. Both Batman and Wonder Woman for the DCU. Wonder Woman, it had already been rumored that it's Adria Arjona, who is from Andor. It's also actually the partner of Jason Momoa. And he had come out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
a
yeah,
power
they're
couple.
together.
Sorry, I didn't recognize your game.
Yeah. Greg's like, I was not familiar.
Actually, Lobo kind of fucks now.
Literally.
And so she was already rumored to be one of the top 2 people for it, and now I saw something out on the internet that it's basically confirmed, not by a legitimate
I hope
source,
so.
that she will be Wonder Woman. And then we also got John Campea, who I said we'd mention him a second time, says he knows who the next Batman is, and it's not anyone that we would suspect. It's not a person that has been mentioned so far as a fan casting. And then I want to say, like, within the hour, I saw dozens of different accounts online all saying that it is this actor Tom Brittney, who I was not familiar with, and looked him up. 35 years old, looks very similar to David Cornsweet, which everyone's like, yes, Superman and Batman need to canonically look similar, which you're not wrong. He's a relative unknown. He has been in Greyhound, Back in Action. What else we got here, buddy? Invasion on, I think that was Apple. Yeah. I'm not super familiar with this actor. Jag, do you always have like, oh, I know him from this random show somewhere?
I'm gonna be honest, brother. James Gunn, he went too deep in them trenches for even me, man. I was just like, congrats, man.
Do you know the 5?
What is that? Is this the 5 what?
I don't know. It's just called the 5. I'm just gonna list all the things, okay? Grant Chester, he's gonna be in Fall 2, which why would you find yourself up?
Do
in
I
a
need to
high-
see Fall 1?
It's just you're up in a high place,
Spoiler
and then
alert. They're trying not to fall.
yeah. The Westies, Greyhound, Make Me Famous, Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, Back in Action, Unreal, The 5, Invasion, Spark,
Oh, so he's British. He's a
Black
British
Box.
actor.
Yeah, duh.
I think Unreal, if this is a
Duh.
show, it's one that I would watch, but it was on Lifetime, and it's about being a producer on a reality TV show.
Sure.
Sure.
Do we like this then? If it's a
Why-
it's a young, good-looking, relative unknown as Batman.
I wish they would do the obvious choice and just merge the Batman universe with the rest of the DCU.
I
Bring Pattinson in.
still say that.
Just
Nothing
bring
is
that-
going to make
just
me
bring those
happy
together.
besides that. That's where I'm at,
Right.
Alfredo. I am a stick in the
Jag will-
mud.
You guys will never be happy again.
Yeah. I do like that they're going to go younger because like we wanted old Batman and we're going to go with his son Damian. I'm like, do you want a Phase 4? Because that's how you get MCU Phase 4s.
I'm glad that you said 35 is young. Makes me feel good.
Well, they
For what it sounded like they wanted to do, where they wanted to have him with Damian Wayne.
Batfleck
Yeah.
age. Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I'm okay with it. Like we'll have to see. I still lean. We did this episode a long time ago. Is should Robert Pattinson's Batman be in the DCU? I think now that they're proving they could do something totally different, and we're gonna get Clayface. I think this could absolutely work. I'm still there.
I think it really depends on how the tonal shifts of those movies happen for me to get bought back in. Like, for me, they were just so different, but you could pull me
Sam,
back in.
you were
depending
on my
how these go.
team in that episode. You
No,
were. Who
It
was
was
it?
me and you, Jag and Sam.
All right. Well,
You
we've
and you
already
said yes.
then
You
we've
guys
then
were
we've
in and
then
I
we've
was out.
converted Jag already.
Yeah.
Sam's still out.
Yeah.
I'm still out. I can be pulled back in. I'm telling you I can. But as of right now,
yeah,
I'm out.
I converted. You're right.
I had good
'Cause I remember
arguments.
my
You joined my
argument.
side.
Yeah. Why don't we leave you alone, Sam? But,
At the beginning of that episode, we were all just kind of like, I'm good either way. But let's really argue this out.
We got
I'm sorry, I got to leave you on an island. I don't want to play favorites, so get fucked and all that.
What I would love to see though is when they bring, if they were to do that and bring those universes together, I would love to see a scene in Belle Reve between the Penguin and Lex Luthor.
Wah, wah.
I guess, yeah. Like I'm not. I wonder if Clayface is the way to like do
Bridge
that,
that gap?
right? Like, do you get?
Merge them together.
Yeah. Like,
smush them together like it's face.
no, not literally. Okay. Okay. We've lost the plot.
Like the two action figures.
We've lost the plot.
Go together.
Now, Kith.
Now, guys, we're going to be back again tomorrow covering the first 3 episodes of X-Men 97 Season 2. And we'll be back every Wednesday covering X-Men 97. Mondays, we got House of the Dragon. Tuesdays, our premium episodes. And then Thursday nights after it airs on Apple TV, we'll be covering and breaking down each episode of Silo Season 3. So make sure you are there for that. As always, I want to thank everybody for watching or listening all the way through. For myself, for Jag, for Sam, for Kopf. See you next time. Adios.